So apparently it's not the iceberg that sank the ship, it's the Kraken. Alright, we're back in Stormworks, and today, the Kraken has arrived. I'm not even joking, I just started doing this intro. The Kraken has spawned in. Anyways, we're going to be taking a look at Ice Monster's brand new Titanic that was released. We took a look at his Olympic a while back. I'll put some links in the top right corner if you want to check that out. But I was like, what is that at the back of the ship? The Kraken spawned in. Now, I should also mention, we are joined by Jlkillen, but because of multiplayer being sort of iffy right now, he's just joining us through a voice call, not actually through the game. And we're going to go through and review the ship, but this is just so strange. He's getting closer. Oh. Well, our rudder's broken, so, good luck avoiding icebergs. That's not going to happen anymore. Alright, so let's go ahead and let's start our tour. Now, Jlkillen, we're not going to look at everything on the ship, because we already did that in the Olympic video, and a lot of the things are the same, but there are also areas around the ship that are different. So, what are the main areas around the ship that are different compared to Olympic?
Yeah, so some of the main areas would include the bridge and the officers' quarters, the private promenades and the B-deck cabins, the dining room and reception room windows down on D-deck, the Turkish baths, the Cafe Parisian, and the aft staircase.
Alright, so let's go ahead and let's start with the bridge. Alright, so here we are in the officers' quarters with the square bridge. And, oh, this is interesting. I could be wrong, but isn't this Olympics layout?
I think it is somewhat similar to Olympic, because right there should be a hallway, not connecting to a cabin. But there is a cabin that is supposed to be there, which would be the chief officer's cabin. And plus the window that's on the forward part. There is a window on the starboard side, which is where the chart room would actually be, but there wasn't a window on the port side like there is there.
I'm not sure if Ice Monster has built this area out yet, but right now this is Olympics layout. But I guess we can just overlook that for now. Maybe it's still under construction, so we'll continue on. So going this way, we have the grand staircase. Of course, we cannot forget this area. And going down, we have the lounge. Now, we did check out the lounge and sort of all of A-deck in the Olympic video, which once again you can find in the top right corner. So, where are we going to go from here?
Yeah, so since we're on A-deck, I suppose the closest area would be the private promenades and the B-deck cabins down on B-deck, because at the time on Olympic, the Olympic didn't have any of those.
Okay, so I guess we'll just go right over here. So, here we have the private promenade with these really, really nice cabins. Now let me go ahead and find a way out there. I think this should take us out. There we go. And here we are. So look at this. We've got some nice furniture. We've got a great view outside. And what I really like is there's rivets here, which is really cool. I mean, on the inside you wouldn't see the rivets, but on the outside you do see the rivets. And that is a nice little detail that adds to the ship. I do like that. Now, it doesn't have all of the cabins. As you can see, this is sort of blacked off. But, I mean, these ones are still fine. And we'll go over to the other side and take a look at those. Now, Jlkillen, who actually owned this suite over here? I believe Ismay owned the one on the port side, right?
Yeah, Ismay actually owned the port side suite, and for the starboard side suite here, it was actually owned by the Cardeza family.
Interesting. So here we are, and as you can see, it's sort of just a carbon copy of the other side. And there we are, and we got a nice long hallway there. Now, going down this hallway, we have the aft grand staircase, and we'll get to that area in a moment, but right over here, there were some changes up on the A-deck level. So, Jlkillen, what were those?
Yeah, so Titanic actually featured these two new cabins that weren't actually present on the Olympic at the time. I mean, Olympic did eventually receive these cabins, but yeah.
Now, Thomas Andrews actually was in this cabin over here, right?
Yeah, Thomas Andrews actually occupied A36, which was the cabin you're looking at. And the cabin over here, which is A37, it was occupied by Father Francis Brown, who was well known for taking the few photos on board Titanic's voyage.
And yeah, we'll be going down to the dining room soon, and the reason that that relates to this story is that Father Brown was the only person to take a photograph inside that room and have it still survive today, because there could have been photographs of that room, but they went down with the ship. We don't know. But yeah, we'll be seeing that room momentarily, but for now, we'll be taking a look at the a la carte restaurant and Parisian Cafe.
Yeah, so the Cafe Parisian was a new addition on Titanic. It wasn't actually on the Olympic at the time, which it did eventually receive this, but yeah.
And there was another room that was fairly popular on both ships, mainly the Olympic, because Titanic was only around for a week or so with this room open. But yeah, that's the a la carte restaurant, and it was expanded, right, Jlkillen?
Yeah, so because of the popularity, they actually extended the a la carte restaurant over to the port side, and they also extended the galley to the port side, I believe to fit the need for the additional passengers.
So yeah, this room was slightly expanded, and it looks really nice. It is one of my favorites on board, with several other places, but there we go. Now, again, I should mention, we will not be looking at everything on the ship. Only certain areas that were changed on Titanic from Olympic. So, we'll continue on. Alright, so now we're going down to the reception room and the dining room. And we'll notice a slight change here. And you may have noticed it, but we've got some larger windows. On Olympic, they were smaller arches, and now they're wider arches. And that's based off one of Father Brown's photos, which we'll go over and take a look at now. Now, real quick, Jlkillen, why did they decide to do that? Or why do we think they decided to do that?
I think the running theory is to make the room feel more open. Because, I mean, since there's that divider there, maybe to make it more open towards the reception room and just give that feeling of enormity for the ship.
Yeah, like it's just one wide open room instead of two rooms. So that does make sense, and we sort of see that trend going on with the a la carte restaurant. It was expanded as well. It made it much more open, and it fit the need for all of those new passengers. And here we have the boarding doors. Very cool. Now, for some of you eagle-eyed viewers, you'll notice that the staircase going down to Scotland Road is gone. And why is that?
Yeah, I mean, so I think it was basically just redundant, considering a few steps over here, you have the main grand staircase, and it leads down to the Crewman's Passage, or what is well known as Scotland Road.
And going even further down, we have the Turkish baths, and it is different from Olympic. As you can see, it no longer goes up against the hull. It's actually just sort of taken back from the hull, but we do have some faux portholes that are put in the side of the wall, which is pretty interesting. Alright, so I'm pretty sure we've seen all of the major changes between the Olympic and the Titanic, except for the A-deck promenade. So let's go ahead, let's hop outside and let's take a look at that. I mean, there really is nothing to look at here. I mean, we've seen it a million times before. We've got the enclosed part and then the open part, but there is something interesting here that I think maybe has yet to be built in, and you'll notice that there's no wall here at the moment, but I'm pretty sure at some point this is going to be added in. But on the real ship, there was a wall here that sort of divided this area. So there we go. Alright, so with the tour over, let's go ahead, let's set it tonight and sink it. Alright, so you can find the scuttle in the wheelhouse, and there we go. The ship is now beginning to sink. So let's go down to the boiler rooms and let's check it out. Alright, so luckily, there is no water. Oh, and as I say that, there's water. Look at that. Now, this is really cool. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this in the Olympic video, but there are coal bunkers, and you can actually explore them completely. They go over like this, and that is really cool. So apparently it's not the iceberg that sank the ship, it's the Kraken, and, it's making very mean noises. I mean, I can barely hear it, but, oh. Well, folks, it's gone.
Yeah, I mean, haven't you heard of the Legend of the Titanic movie?
Oh, please do not bring that up. It's happening again. Oh my gosh. It is really like that movie.
It was trying to help the ship from not splitting.
You notice how the ship is beginning to list over to one side? I'm pretty sure the Kraken is actually grabbing it and pulling it, which is very concerning.
I mean, realistically, the ship did list a couple degrees over to the starboard side by about like 5-ish degrees because of the incoming water, but probably not this much. And yeah, because of the Kraken probably being there too.
Okay, so spiral staircase time, everybody. It's the moment you've been waiting for. Let's go down and let's take a look at the water. Here we have the water. Very concerning. Alright, going back up, I think at this point it would be good to lower a lifeboat. So we're going to go do that, and we're going to try to survive. So I guess we'll just go ahead and click down. And there we go, the boat is away. Let's jump into it. And there we are. Oh, look at that, the bow is starting to flood pretty badly. Let's release that. There we go. We are now going to survive. Well, not really, because I'm going to go teleport back onto the ship, because why would I sit in a lifeboat and just wait for the ship to go down when I could experience it from the deck? That is not good. It's rolling over. I don't know what's happening. It's capsizing. Let's go in the ship and let's take a look at how bad the water's flooded up. I'm pretty sure it's pretty far up at this point. Hello, water. Oh my gosh, it's already here. Oh wow, that is really concerning. Look at the water rushing up there. Here we are in the lounge. We're gonna say goodbye to it because it is going down. All right, so with the lounge flooding rapidly there, let's just climb out here and hope for the best. So at this point, the ship is just broken in two. And there we go. Oh, look at that. The mast sort of collapsed a little bit. Some of the bow has a little bit of power left in it still. And it's gone. And now, we are just on the stern section. Sort of broken half like James Cameron style, which is interesting to see. Alright, so I'm on the docking bridge, and the silhouette is super eerie. I mean, in real life, there was no moonlight. We have moonlight here, but it is still eerie nonetheless. And also, the Kraken is now attacking the bow. Let me turn it to day, so we can actually see that. Yeah, so that is always concerning to see. Alright, there it goes. The nameplate is about to go under, and Titanic is gone. Alright, so that was really cool. A download link will be in the description. If you guys have enjoyed this, make sure to leave a like and a comment, and I'll see you next time, guys. Goodbye.